So I have very little faith in this actually working, but we'll give it a shot. So trying to do commentary over the race footage. This is the stage 3 course that most of the Cossacks will be doing over the next few days. So strategy today was to get out quite fast, be towards the front of the pack. Not knowing the course, I thought if I'm towards the front at least then I can react to any attacks or changes in gradient and not get dropped. At least that was the theory. So I think it is a 30-ish kilometre race. 56 people in my category today. Not a huge amount, considering how many people have been in the stage races so far. 2:10, not a particularly popular time for people to do it. So fairly flat start. Heading on to, I don't know if it's called Ocean Road or something, maybe. So pros and cons to it being a small field. In theory, the smaller the field, the more chance you'd have of winning or podiuming. But at the same time, your overall time is likely to be a bit slower because there'll be smaller groups and potentially more potential to be riding on your own or in smaller groups. And the overall pace of the race should be slightly slower due to the size of the groups. So heading into the aquarium. I call it the aquarium. Not sure if that's its official name. So once I'm in here, I know it's a fairly flat track for quite a distance. Heart rate quite low, low 160s, so that's pretty good. That's below threshold, and for a Zwift race you normally expect to go quite a bit above threshold and then drop back into race pace. Completely flat. You'll want to be doing a decent tempo through here, finding the pace of group that you want to be in. I should imagine there'll be a few big groups together. Through the tree trunk, back into the aquarium. Hopefully, with this new YouTube channel, we will be able to stream a few of the guys racing tomorrow. I believe Charlie, Whitey and Sharpie may be going off in stage 3 tomorrow. May have missed someone there. So there's a little ramp here, not massive, 3%, I think it rises to maybe 4 or 5. Just put down a bit of power, make sure you don't get dropped from the group that you're in, ride over the top of it, don't just stop when you think you're at the top, keep riding over the top, flattens out, get your recovery in. So we've already dropped a few people here. Which is making me think that there's a lot of B-Cat riders in this group. So in my head here I'm thinking, if you've already been dropped after that little climb, then there must be a few B-Cat in the group. I think it ended up being like about 10 A categories and 2 A plus in the race, at least that I checked. Spotted the first climb in the distance, that grassy hump. So as we're coming over this bridge, I'm thinking I want to get to the front of the group so that when we hit the foot of the climb, I'm in a good position to react to any attacks, stay with the front group, not have to go round people, and not drop a few valuable seconds at the start of the climb. So making my way towards the front of the group, I suggest if you're in a big group of riders that you do the same. It's not a huge effort to get to the front of the group, so just get there nice and early. Don't let people get in your way or out-position you. And then it's not a massively long climb, so there's you go through that barrier there, and I'd start booting it down a fair bit. The two boys here go off the front at 7.5, 8 watts per kilo. Which at this point, not knowing where I'm going, I didn't feel the want to go chasing after them, but then I'm looking down the right and I'm seeing that there's quite a few people that have dropped already, 2 or 3 second gap, so I'm thinking I don't want to have to wait for them. So this guy starts going after those two, and I thought, well, I'll have to try and bridge the gap with him. So 560, 570 watts. Heart rate mid 180s. It was a big effort to get back on, but it's worth doing because it's not a long climb. It goes round to the right and then it ramps up again. So another little ramp up there, and then keep riding over the top. Keep going, keep going, keep going. 9%, 8%. Keep riding. One guy's gone up the road. I was hoping that these two would just pace in behind him, but the other guy tries to bridge the gap. So the other guy tries to bridge the gap to him, and then I end up having to put out 400 plus watts, 500, to try and stay with this lot. So starts to flatten out, 5% starts coming down. Start to get a bit of recovery in here, but you're still riding hard. Still at 3%. Guys caught up off the back there. So now I'm seeing the mountain in the distance with the snow on the top and thinking, oh dear, there's a big one to come. So the green banner on the right signals the start of the climb. I suggest you start putting your foot down a bit just before then, in my head I'm not sure how long this climb is, so I'm reluctant to go full gas, but I figure I'll press on, see if I can get on with the two guys in front, sit in their wheel and hope that it doesn't go on for too long, which it doesn't. So I would suggest attacking this little bit. Heart rate still in the 180s. So sat up in the draft. If you look at the two in front of me, they're putting out a fair amount more watts per kilo, so that suits me fine. Sit in. Japanese guy's just coming alongside me now. So we've got a group of 4. If I look down the right hand side of the screen, there is a 27-30 second gap between the group behind us and the 3 at the front are a good 14 or 15 seconds up the road. So at this point I'm thinking this group of 4 should stick together, share the work, see if we can either gradually chip away at the group in front, certainly keep off the group behind. Heart rate coming down after the 2 early climbs, back down towards threshold. Power is under threshold. -3 here. Spin the legs a bit, get some recovery in, keep the cadence high. Obviously if you're on an erg you're not able to do that, but if you're on a smart bike, drop the gear, spin the legs, stay in the draft. If you're on an erg, just ease up on the power a wee bit. -5. Flattening out. They're all keeping us steady power, or even on the descents there, so not much chance to rest fully. Somebody's just given a ride on. Chink in the armour. First blink. For me, if you're going to give the ride-ons, give them earlier in the pen or afterwards. Heart rate mid 160s, pleased with that recovery after the climb. Saved quite a lot of power, just sat in with these 4. Guy, I don't know what flag that is, but Maro, he seems to be pushing a decent pace at the front, looks like a strong rider. A little bit of rolling terrain at the moment, but plenty of time to recover. Strong tempo, stay with your group. Nothing to really worry about in this section. -4, -5. So I would do what Jimmer did last time and make notes on distances of the first 2 climbs, when they come, how long they last. Those 2 climbs will start to break up the race straight away, so advice is to attack those quite hard. It's worth being brave on those climbs and pushing on, because you've got so much flat and rolling terrain after it to recover. You'll pay the price for not attacking those climbs properly. I think this is called the Road to Ruins, isn't it? This track or something. You can see the ruins anyway on the right hand side as we go past. Popular tourist destination of Watopia. A bit like Longmead, you could say. Beautiful fountains in the distance. Fountain? Waterfall? I guess that's a waterfall, isn't it? There's nothing like it, a fountain at all. So, flat section. Now, we are, when you see the waterfalls, you'll know you're coming up towards the caves, which you don't need to pick up the pace on, but people do. For some reason, I don't know if it's a change in surroundings or scenery or whatever it is, but whenever you go into a cave or a volcano or whatever it might be, I find that people pick up the pace and put extra watts down. They don't really need to. They're not really looking at gradient changes. They just, I don't know, it always happens. But it's a flat section, so just enjoy the scenery and keep a steady power. And waterfalls, some stalagmites, and there. Avatar. 1%. Again, nothing to write home about. Last fountain on the left hand side. A couple more ride-ons. Toad, the Japanese toad. So just sat in here trying to preserve as much energy as possible. Heart rate in a good place. Not feeling moderately fatigued at this point. picked up an aero power up back there somewhere as well. Can't remember where it was when I came through the banner actually. So I'm happy with how I'm feeling, so I'm thinking I'll keep the aero power up in the back pocket. 13 kilometres in, 20 minutes of riding so far. 2 reasonable punchy climbs, but not a lot to report other than that. Pretty flat track, as they say in the cricketing world. Little ramp of 4%. Marrow's pushed on a bit here. He looks like he's 4.9, 5 watts per kilo, 5.7, 6.3. Yeah, so he's had a bit of a nudge. I think it's the Iranian guy. See Kimeritchik. Yeah, that's the one. Kimerideri. Either way, he's leading the chase, bringing us all back together. Yo-yo to the front, didn't really want to do that, so I'll have dropped a gear, spun my legs here, let them go past, feather back on the power as they go past so you don't get dropped. Let your avatar sit upright, get back in the draft. % gradient, small kick, don't need to go berserk on the power. I think Marrow might attack here at some point. He puts down good watts for about 2 or 3 minutes, might be here. So the Japanese guy's trying to hang on his wheel. I've hung on the Japanese guy's wheel. The Iranian guy, or whatever that flag is dropped off the back, so he's a second behind, so we think we've got rid of him. And then Marrow, I believe, kicks on again here, so he's been up around 7 watts per kilo. So I'm sort of being led a little bit by the Japanese guy, because if he goes, I'm going to go. But if he doesn't, then I'm not going to heroically try and bridge the gap, because I don't know what's to come. And my heart rate's at 180, 182, 390, 380 watts to keep up. There's over 15 kilometres to go, so there's no point redlining completely and ruining your race. Marrow's pushed his watts per kilo up again, so he's attacked maybe 3 or 4 times within the space of 2 or 3 minutes successfully. So at this point, Marrow is 4 seconds up the road, and the Iranian guy's 7 seconds back down the road. So it's looking likely that me and the Toad are going to be going mano a mano for the remainder of the race. % kicker in the gradient, doesn't last long, but make sure you feather the power, don't let your group drop you. Levels out soon enough, so don't panic, just keep powering down, powering down. 5%. The Spanish guy's just come past as if we're stood still, even though he was 2.5 minutes behind us. That's fishy. He must be on an e-bike or a moped, or he's borrowed Coops' power meter. Either way, I'm doing 350 watts and he's just motored past me. Right, so point to mark on your card, 15.9 kilometers in. You've this wooden bridge thing, little steep descent, goes to -7, but then it ramps up the other end to 8 or 9%. Don't get your gearing wrong. If you're on a smart trainer, drop a couple of gears, really pick up the cadence, and then ride aggressively over the top of it until it completely levels out. So don't stop here, keep riding, keep riding, keep riding. Ride over the top of it, because people will keep on riding an attack. And if you do drop a couple of seconds, you can lose the wheel, so ride over the top. And then get your recovery in here. Descent, -3, -4. Recover. I don't know whether the Japanese guy was hoping that I would take on the pace of it here. I'm not too sure. He sort of seemed to hover for a while. But I was looking in the rearview mirror and the bloke behind us is 37 seconds behind. The guys are so far up the road in front of you. It then becomes a thing where, do you not want to lose time on the overall position on the board, which to be fair is a factor, or do you want to win the head-to-head with the guy you're riding with? Because to be fair, I could have probably pushed a much quicker tempo here, but would have probably played into his hands and ended up losing to him. But then my overall time across the stages might have been quicker. So little ramp here, I think. Yeah, up to 4%. %. It's a bit of a long drag, I would describe this as. I'll be honest, coming off the flat section, it didn't feel taxing, but obviously it's a long 3-4% gradient. If you're fatigued at this point, I could imagine it would zap you a bit. But again, if you make a note, it was around the 17.9 kilometre mark. Where are we? Fairly flat section. Nothing to report. If I remember correctly, we go into a sweeping descent. Chance to again get your recovery in, -3. If you're in a group, keep spinning your legs, stay in the draft, get your heart rate under control. I think that signifies 10 kilometres to go, that banner. I always think when you get to that 10k to go mark, you can start pressing on. You can survive the last 10k even if you're in the red. "20 kilometres down, 33 minutes of racing so far. So another sweeping descent. I think it goes to -7. Yeah, -7, -9. You can tuck in there if you want to. Tuck position, relax, spin your legs, take your foot off the power. Toad's still putting out 4 point something watts per kilo. Probably a waste of power from him. Into the tuck. He's still putting out 4. It's a bit of distance, but you know you can catch up on the flat, so I'd relax on that bit, enjoy the descent, pick the tempo back up here. So coming into the harbour, I think. My eyesight's crap, but I think that says about 8 kilometres to go, roughly. 7 maybe, 8. So at this point I'm thinking, let the Toad set the pace. Not 100% what's still to come, but I'm thinking with 4 or 5 kilometres to go, provided my heart rate's you know, around what it is now. I'm going to have loads in the tank to attack at some point, so it's just when and where, and I'm hoping that I'll recognise the course as we get further on and be able to pick a good time to attack. So more of the same in terms of gradient, 1%. So more flat, rolling. Nowhere to attack. Sit in, push the tempo. Sat at 90-95 RPM. So we've got a little ramp here. It's not a long one, but he's probably going to rank his power up a bit here, I think, if I remember rightly. So yeah, you go up to 5%. Make sure you don't get caught napping. Descent after the little attack on that last ramp. Sit in. Flattens out, more dirt roads, tracks, whatever you want to call them. So as we come down here, you can see the volcano in the background. So in my head I know the volcano, so you've got a couple of different climbs you can do. So in my head I'm thinking there's only 5k to go. Heart rate's in a good place. Been a pretty easy ride this last 10k or so behind this Japanese guy. So I'm ready to attack, or at least see what he's got left in the locker, which I'm hoping, because he's been tabbing along at 4+ watts per kilo for most of it and doing most of the work that he won't have a lot left. So as we approach the volcano, there's a right-hand turn, which is, I believe, the long way round, or at least the steepest way round. So in my head I'm thinking it'd be quite nice if we went that way, because then it'll be a proper test and hopefully more chance to fatigue him. But we don't take the right-hand turn, we go straight on. So once we've missed that turn to the right, I know the next climb, and it's a short, sharp effort. So it's one of those that you just commit to, and you've got to ride all the way into the volcano itself. So as we come round to the right here, I'm thinking, right, okay, I'll hit this first part of the climb really hard and see what he's got left in the locker, and if I can put a bit of distance into him, then I can attack up the second part of the climb. So getting ready to ramp it up. Hopefully you lot will be feeling half decent by the time you get to this point in the race. I'd suggest those guys that like to launch a fairly long attack, this would be the time to do it. If you're like Jimmer and you back yourself in a sprint finish, then maybe just sit in. But if not, hit this corner and full gas. So we come round to the left, flattens out. I've put a second into the Japanese guy at this point, or two, which is a reasonable gap. Up the watts again, push on, then you have a second ramp as you come round the corner. Again, full gas up here, and keep riding all the way into the volcano. That's the key. Don't take your foot off now as it flattens to zero. Ride all the way into the volcano, and then for me, your race will probably be won and lost in here because it's a rolling section, but you need to push hard through the volcano. And a lot of people will take it easy, and you can, if you push hard through this bit, you can make up some valuable time. At this point I've put 8 seconds into the Japanese guy. I've still got the aero helmet in the locker for the last kilometre should I need it. So at this point, as I come out the other side of the volcano, I've got 10 seconds in the Japanese guy, and I'm thinking just keep an eye on his watts per kilo. If he tries to attack back, then just try and match his watts per kilo. Keep plugging away at a speed that doesn't give him any encouragement. .7 to go. You'd do well to lose it with a 12-second gap at this point. So cadence isn't particularly high, but churning some decent watts. Just trying to keep good power down now. Save something just in case, but to be honest, he's between 17 and 20 seconds behind, depending on what gradient you hit. So instead of going straight on, which is a finish I think we did at stage 1, we're coming from a different direction, but we're coming onto the slope, this descent that goes down onto that ocean, I think they call it Ocean Boulevard or Ocean Road. So the sprinters, if you're in a sprint finish, start picking up the tempo here. 0.7 to go. Make sure you're on somebody's wheel or pushing a good pace as you come down the hill. Jimmer, if it's you, I've launched my aero back then. Didn't really need to, but... And then don't go too early. Keep an eye on how far you've got left. And then with 0.3 to go, launch your sprint. Jimmer, Will, or whoever else is. Sharpie maybe. So weird race, quite like the course. Weird race, having to do most of it with the Japanese guy, but pleasing to get beaten by quite a big amount in the end. So 6th, 3:07 average, 4.1. He comes in a minute, I believe, at the bottom of the screen, and I think he had 4.4 watts per kilo. Yeah, there he is, 4.4 watts per kilo. It just goes to show if you waste energy on the front unnecessarily,
Right on.
you can have quite a bit less watts per kilo, but still win, and still beat the other guy. Anyway, hopefully first YouTube video done. Cossacks out.